This is a fish that's just come out of super cold water.
This week on Kentucky Afield. First up, a how-to for all the craftsmen and sportsmen out there. We'll show you how to take a deer tail and create some excellent bass lures. Next, NASP is a great program that continues to grow and grow. Let's take a look at the 2019 State Championship. Then, turkey season is right around the corner. We're tagging along with Emily as she looks to bag her first bird. It's all next on Kentucky Afield.
Such a pretty fish.
Beautiful.
This pond is plumb loaded with frogs.
They're everywhere in here. Yeah, this is a good fish right here. Really good fish.
Come here, girl.
Yeah, boy. That's a big rabbit.
Nice job. Yes! Yes! My first musket.
Mercy, Leo.
Yeah, look at it. It's a keeper.
Here it goes. Boom!
Wow, that happened fast.
Hello, and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm your host, Chad Miles. Join us as we journey the Commonwealth in search of outdoor adventure. If you're a deer hunter and you like to bass fish, well, here's a challenge for you. So today, I'm out trying to do something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that is take a tail off a deer that I've harvested, tie my own lures, and then go out and successfully catch a fish. Back in September on an archery hunt, I was able to take a doe, and I immediately noticed that the deer had a bunch of different colors in its tail. It had white, it had a lot of brown and red, it had some black, and I immediately thought, man, those are very natural colors that would make a perfect bucktail jig. Perfect. I love to smallmouth fish, I love to bass fish, and I thought if I could take those and tie those myself, later in the year, I'm gonna take it out and try to catch fish. Well, we took it down to Cumberland Pro Lures, and I had a lady by the name of Charisma Shelton teach me how to tie a bucktail jig. So you've been making bucktail jigs for how many years?
23 years.
23 years. And you're gonna show me
Tell
today.
my age.
You're gonna show me today how I can take my own deer tail and make a lure out of it. A smallmouth that I'm gonna try to target using this bait.
It's fun because, I mean, it's always good whenever you know that you've made something to get out there and catch supper. You know?
Yeah. Show me what I need to do to get this process started.
You see your two little weed guards? We want to push those forward to get them out of the way.
And we're using these heads. These heads are called your Procaster. You guys actually pour these here on the hooks, but you can go to a tackle store and buy whatever size jig heads and hooks you want.
Right.
Already pre-poured and done.
Right.
All right, now let's go from here. Tell me what's next.
We're going to start with the thread, and what I like to do is just, I don't waste anything, so I just put just enough to cover to where it's on there good enough you can get some glue and then your hair going.
Okay.
I like to have a tie that's tight enough that it's not going to come loose, but you use the glue just as an extra bond.
Gotcha, okay.
Because when them fish hit them, they hit them hard.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to use your tail.
Okay.
And we're going to do one, what I like to call the color of natural.
Okay.
And that's the back side of the deer tail. Smallmouths seem to like it.
Oh, yeah.
I always like to get it as close as I can so that you have your length. And I usually get a couple good cuts because I like for it to be a good thick jig. And then here's the hardest part of tying is making sure that you hold your hair good. And I cut as close as I can to my fingers.
Okay.
And then what I like to do before I even start is put a drop of my glue on here.
So this looks like fingernail polish. This is actually a glue.
It's actually a glue, and it's a waterproof glue. And see how I put that on there? And I spun it around. That is what makes it to where it's good and full all the way around, consistent. And then once I've got it started like this, I like to go ahead and just do what I call cosmetic.
Gotcha.
And all you're doing is you're going to cover all this that's sticking out from the front there.
Gotcha, okay. So you cut you a big thick piece of it. You popped it on the shank of the hook, and then you wrapped it and spread it around so that it completely covers that shank.
Yes.
And now you're just securing it on there with a bunch
Beautifying it, yeah. And now what we're gonna do is make a knot.
Okay.
And whenever you pull your thread back, you wanna wrap your fingers around it, and you're coming around the head.
Okay.
And I like to do that a couple times.
Okay.
And then I break it off into the bait. So it's in there, and then anything that's sticking up, I like to go ahead and cut that.
Snip it off.
And then I'll take my glue and go all the way around it. And that way, you know that you've got a really good tie. I go ahead and push my little weed guards back.
Oh yeah, you got something holding it, so you might as well.
And then here we go.
Now that is a beautiful, beautiful jig.
The main thing is just getting that hair on there and holding it and getting everything in place. Once you get into place, it's easy peasy.
I'm telling you right now, this will catch fish. You know, the lake is up about 20 feet from where it would normally be at Winter Pool. Out on the main lake, we're about 48 degrees. As I go back these creeks, I'm looking for inlets of water that's coming in. The last couple of rains we've had, it's been a little bit warm. So as that water comes in, you'll get pockets where the water temperature could be 2-3 degrees warmer. I'm at 50.2 right now as I get to the back of this creek, and I can hear the water coming in. So I know this is the spot where the bait should come in, and this is the spot where these fish are gonna hang out until they spawn. I'm gonna give this a shot. Come on, fish. Here we go. Here we go. Try to sling him in the boat. Oh, he might be a little too big to sling. Hold on here. Well, you know, I should have had the net ready. I'm back here casting this little hair jig that we hand tied off my deer, and should have had the net ready. Actually, I had my cooler setting right in the middle of my net, and I had about a 4-pound smallmouth come up and eat this thing on me, and couldn't get the net out. Lesson learned. Big fish swirled right there. Here we go. All right, let me grab that net. Actually, I'm gonna just throw this one in. There we go. Man, this is a fish that's just come out of super cold, cold water. You ought to feel how cold this fish is to the touch. I got back in here, hooked a pretty good smallmouth, got it right up to the boat, and now this fish. This fish here is, you know, it's knocking on, it's over 3.5 pounds. Let's see what we got here. Right at 20 inches long. It is really, really cool to think that you took a September successful archery hunt, turned it into a bag full of jigs, and brought them down here, and lo and behold, turn a September doe hunt into a beautiful smallmouth bass. I'll tell you what, there's something kind of special about that. Let's get this fish back in the water. The Archery in the Schools program here in Kentucky continues to grow. Let's take a look at this year's state championship. So Commissioner Storm, I really thought that we may be meeting up in the woods or on the water, but today we're down here in Louisville, Kentucky at the state championship for NASP. This is a really, really great event for kids that want to learn how to shoot archery.
Absolutely, and to have 7,000 kids that show up for an event like this is just fantastic, and we're hopeful that these kids graduate and become hunters and fishermen themselves. It was started in Kentucky. We have grown. This is nearly 20 years for this program.
Thousands and thousands of kids participate every single year, and now in nearly 20 years, I'm sure there's been people that have participated that are now teaching, coaching, and hopefully they're spending some time in the field as well.
I think this is just the perfect partnership for our agency to bring people to the field. I talked to a number of these kids that have actually been in the field. Some have harvested deer, some have shot turkeys. We heard one kid, he'd actually taken a squirrel before. So this works, and we're just happy to be here.
It's a fantastic event. I never knew in a million years, so my first time coming to the state championship or the national championship, which a lot of times also hosted in Kentucky, how many kids this reaches.
This program has just gone beyond our wildest expectations. I've been an archery instructor in the school myself, and these kids are infatuated with the opportunity to put a bow in their hand and pull it back and see what happens.
I remember my first bow as a kid. I remember going out and cutting the saplings and making little draw bows and building arrows. For me, it's turned into a lifelong passion, and for a lot of these kids, I suspect it's going to do the exact same thing.
This is just a great avenue for people to become acclimated. And we need to encourage these kids to utilize our WMAs. We need to encourage these kids to come to our private property and be great mentors.
Absolutely. You know, and this year, there's a little more focus on actual hunting and fishing and participation here at this state event. We have a trade show kind of going on of sorts.
We do, and I think we have untapped potential to get into schools, not only with archery equipment, but with hunter education, and that's something we're all passionate about and something that we can all agree on. Our kids are our future. And if we can just give them that outdoor experience, I think we all win.
Kids are doing trap shooting in school, they're shooting archery in school, bass fishing is becoming huge.
Kids have so many options, and for us to be good stewards and pass on this heritage, we have to encourage these kids to come to the field. We have to show them that we have these programs, and we got to work on retention too, Chad. We all talk about taking the kid to the field, but we need to make sure that they continue to come. And it's just a good networking partnership.
It really is great to see the direction that we're moving. If we can just keep these individuals in on a year-to-year basis and keep spreading their passion, it's going to be good.
We have a lot of people interested in our programs. They may want to canoe, they may want to hike, but we need to be mindful that a lot of people want to participate and do what we do and what we have a passion for.
Well, thank you for catching up with us today, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So, Michael, I know you are a coach here for a middle school, so you're thoroughly involved in archery in the schools. Tell me how that got started.
Well, I had family members who were involved in NASP in the archery program, and my son was very interested at an early age, maybe a third grader. So when we had the opportunity to start a program at an elementary school in Jessamine County, we did that. And then later on, the middle school needed some help.
So for a person who wants to get into coaching, and maybe they got a child that may be interested in archery, and they go, man, I know nothing about archery.
Yeah.
How do you go about, being a person who really doesn't shoot to being a coach?
Well, I mean, there's lots of information out there. There's obviously the websites. NASP has a website with all kinds of information on it about how to start programs. There are regions within NASP, so there are coordinators in each of those regions. You can reach out to those people and ask them how to start a program. There's people at Kentucky Fish and Wildlife. There's the state coordinator, Lisa Fry, who's always willing to reach out and help somebody get started.
So here with the state coordinator, you've been doing this for a couple years now, and just when I thought this event could not get any bigger, it's bigger. It just continues to grow.
It grows and grows. We have about 15,000 kids that are competitive across the state. So we try our very best to get about half of them to the state tournament.
Over 7,000 are going to compete today. We're looking at 30,000 arrows going down range here. It's absolutely amazing.
It's crazy. It's great.
Something you're doing much different this year is you're having this expo, which is great because you got this captive audience of all these kids and parents, all the people that are coming through. There is some downtime in this event. If you're going to compete, there's some downtime, and now there's something to do during that downtime.
There's something to do, and parents always talk about their kids being couch potatoes and attached to those electronic devices, but our kids would really like to get outdoors, and we just want to show them how they can hunt, they can fish, or they can just go out and enjoy being outside. And so we wanted the kids to see those activities and be introduced to maybe a few new things along with their parents. So with the 7,000 kids here bring about 20,000 adults.
In your downtime, you can learn how to fly fish, you can look at kayaks or canoes, you can shoot a little bit of archery, crossbows. It really runs a gamut of all outdoor activities.
It does. I saw the fly fishing over there. I'd really, really like to try that. I've never tried fly fishing, so I'm going to have to go over in a minute.
I'll tell you what, this event, like I say, it's a fantastic program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you watched Kentucky Afield last week, you probably noticed a new segment called In the Woods and On the Water. We'll be featuring all kinds of activities and things to do right here in the state of Kentucky. This week's segment, Kentucky River WMA. Located just over an hour's drive from Louisville, Lexington, and Covington, Kentucky River Wildlife Management Area is easily accessible to outdoorsmen and women from the central and northern part of the state. This WMA is relatively new, with its first 522-acre tract being purchased in 1992 and the most recent one added in 2014. Kentucky River WMA has a combined total of 3,643 acres on 6 different tracts of land that cover both Henry and Owen counties. A wide variety of habitats are present, from riverbanks, bottomland sloughs and fields, to upland fields and forest. Not all tracts adjoin, which means users must pay close attention to property lines and access points. Kentucky River WMA offers a variety of hunting and fishing opportunities. Deer, turkey, upland game, and waterfowl are plentiful. When it comes to fishing, most of the tracts offer access to the Kentucky River. Also, Benjiakinman Lake has a great reputation for producing solid size and numbers of bass, plus several other smaller ponds are nearby. The lakes are open under statewide regulations for fishing, but anglers must also follow additional rules posted at each lake. If you're into wildlife watching, you may also see muskrats, otters, beavers, turtles, herons, egrets, and even bald eagles, and there are a myriad of songbirds and small mammals along the riverbanks. The sloughs and adjoining crop fields provide opportunities for waterfowl, small game, and upland bird hunters. Several fields are prepared for public dove hunts each year, which numerous hunters enjoy in early September. Early fall also brings fox squirrels out of the timber to look for corn and sunflower seeds in the crop fields. Later in the fall, these same fields provide many opportunities to flush a covey of quail or maybe jump a rabbit. Each track on this WMA has 1 or 2 parking areas, and access is limited to foot traffic, with the exception of the Welch track, Hardin Bottoms. This track offers mobility impaired access to permit holders. Remember that public hunting area users must abide by the Kentucky hunting, trapping, and fishing regulations. For more information about this WMA, maps of the tracks, or the latest regulations, please visit our website at fw.ky.gov or call 1-800-858-1549. Turkey season is coming up this weekend, and I hope you're planning on taking a new hunter in the woods. Let's take a look back at Emily's first turkey hunt. Emily, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Chad.
I got a phone call that said you wanted a turkey hunt, and I thought, okay, before we do that, there's a couple things we need to go through.
Right.
Patterning a shotgun. Have you got much experience with shooting shotguns?
I have a little bit. When I went through the law enforcement training academy, we had to be qualified on a shotgun. And I've shot shotgun dove hunting and been turkey hunting once before, but with patterning and stuff, haven't done that at all.
So we're going to get a feel for how the gun shoots, where it's hitting, and how big of a pattern we have at a certain distance. So
okay.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Sounds good. I'm excited.
Let's go get this gun tuned in and see what we've got.
All right.
Go ahead and take the safety off when you feel comfortable, and we'll be ready to fire our first shot. Oh my, that looks pretty good.
Hey, that was pretty good.
That covered it up pretty good. Let's walk down there and take a closer look. Right in here's the vast majority, but you got enough kill shots in there that you're good to go. Looks like we just need to get a turkey in front of you.
Exactly. You see the muskrat? Look.
Yeah, there he is. It is a muskrat, little bitty joker. And look how effortlessly he just moves through the water. We've got a couple of hours. We'll sit down and listen. If we hear something, we'll move closer and do a little bit of calling. Usually the birds roost just about 150 yards up the hill. So hopefully this evening we'll get a good idea of where they're flying back up.
Okay.
And we'll set up as close as we can without spooking them off the roost in the morning. Who knows, we may get one to come right by tonight.
Okay.
Well, so we got in here last night, and we we heard a gobbler go up to roost. We think we know right where they're at. We were hoping when we got to this point, we'd be hearing gobbles and they're
doing it.
so hopefully we can get within about 150 yards or so and get set up and get you a bird.
Let's do it.
I know we're ready to make it happen.
Yes.
In our winter/spring turkey hunt of 2018.
Right.
There's 2 or 3 gobblers, yeah. Here they come. They're about 150 coming fast. About 2 o'clock. All right, now when you get ready, here they come. Let them come all the way into the decoys, okay? Okay. Get ready. Nice job.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. That was really cool. I mean, that really worked out awesome.
That was pretty cool. Very, very cool. They were really pretty when they were
I mean, they're just such a beautiful bird. First turkey.
First turkey.
It is a Jake, and you can tell it's a Jake. Obviously, you know this, but see how the turkey feathers go, and then there's a step up. Right there, and then it steps back down.
Yeah, it looked pretty big when he was strutting across the field.
Obviously, you and I have worked together for a long time, but I get a phone call a couple months ago that says, you know, I think Emily's interested in a turkey hunt. Tell me, what got you interested in this?
Well, I went to the agency's Field to Fork turkey class. That kind of just spurred some interest in it, and I had been before with my husband, and we were fortunate to hear a bird, but we didn't actually get to take it.
You started this out by saying you really wanted to take a turkey home to feed the kids.
Yep, got 3 boys, and you know, you go to the store and buy organic farm-raised meat, and you can come out here and take it yourself and know exactly where it came from and how it was harvested.
You know, there's that moment for every person who goes hunting where when you're sitting there and you realize they're in range, I'm going to get a shot. That feeling is always really intense. You're like, this is going to happen.
Yeah, that's what was going through my head. And I was kind of in a state of disbelief, like, oh, this is really going to happen. My heart started pounding and felt like I couldn't breathe. So everything kind of got a little blurry, and when they came into range where I felt comfortable trying to take one, it just kind of all became a blur.
I'm really excited that you decided to do this hunt with us.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
And it's been a lot of fun.
It has. It was awesome.
Now let's check in and see who else has been out having fun in this week's Ones That Didn't Get Away.
Check out the smile on Nate Evans while he holds a nice largemouth bass that was taken from Taylorsville Lake. Nice job. Here we have Chandler Caldwell with a nice 10-point buck that is still in velvet. This deer was taken during the archery season in Clay County. Congratulations. Here's proof that fishing can make you happy. Sarah White caught this nice drum below Kentucky Lake on 6-pound test. Nice job. Here's a really nice mess of crappie taken by Tim Blair of Sonora, Kentucky. These fish were caught in Green River. Here we have the very first fish ever caught by 3-year-old Eddie Lee Bowen. He was fishing in Washington County and caught this fish in a family farm pond. Nice fish. Here we have 6-year-old Meyer Hamilton, who actually lives in Indiana, but came over to a friend's farm pond and caught this nice crappie in Trimble County. He said this was his Kentucky Afield day. Nice job. Colton Crest knows how to spend some quality time on the opening day of squirrel season. Nice job.
Turkey season's coming up this weekend, and it runs from April the 13th to May the 5th. And remember, hunting and fishing on private property is a privilege. Always ask permission and thank the landowner. Until next week, I'm your host, Chad Miles, and I hope to see you in the woods or on the water.